Don't forget. There we go. Today, we're going to talk about how to improve your public out-facing persona. And we're going to really focus on Zillow, Realtor.com, Google pages as well. And there's some stories and anecdotes that'll be in here. Some of the things I'm going to say publicly, some of the things I'm going to stop the recording. So if you're watching this on a recording, be prepared that you're going to miss some of the super nuggets. You may want to reach out to us personally and we can tell you about what they were. If you all haven't figured it out, people will look you up, period. It's just going to happen. And that's actually a good thing. Now, for some of us, myself included, we didn't really give this a lot of energy. And this is not something that you have to do where you're just like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. And that's all I'm going to do. And that's my entire focus. This is something, and I love saying this. You all have heard me say it before. It's time on task over time. Okay. It's going to be something that probably wants to go on your schedule. That is going, thank you very much. I can't read that, Kenya, but I'm assuming that's what it says. Time on task over time. It wants to, you need to put this on your schedule. You need to make this a very important part of every transaction you do, but that's not the end all be all for reviews. And currently we're talking about reviews on Zillow, Realtor.com, and Google. Now, LinkedIn is a great place and there's a lot of others, but once you start with one, the others are easier to duplicate. Now, I'm going to suggest that the starting point is Zillow. The second one is Google, your Google business page. And I'm going to walk you through how to set up a Google business page as well. It's very easy to do. It takes a little bit of time and they need to verify you and your address. The third one would, of course, be Realtor.com. And the reason that one's third is because there's a lot of copying and pasting that's permitted on Realtor.com. Okay. I want to showcase something. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. We're going to jump into Zillow. If I can find it, I can. So how people can search real estate agents on Zillow is simply by putting in the agent's name. There's a tab up here that says Agent Finder. You can see where you set up with this. And I put in a zip code. I live right next to the zip code, 32819. These top ads are paid. Somebody's paying money for these. These are all organic. Nick Nickley is got, I think he has 433, 42 local. Veronica has 1,100 and we have 400 or 363 reviews. Now, this is how people start to search. And then when they click inside of this page, it's going to give them a lot more information. And this is something you're going to have to personally edit. Now, I encourage you that this particular portion, the portion that says, that's really the or who I am, what we do, you get to select this. As you're building this out, you'll select this. Now, Donna, you're going to be joining our team. I have lost my login information and they're recouping it for me. And by the way, if anybody else wants to be part of the Sosa Philbeck group, you are more than welcome to be part of the Sosa Philbeck group. I'll be glad to add you as a team member. I want you to get your own reviews. They will travel with you. But it also gives you the illusion, if you are not as strong and powerful as you personally like to be, you're part of a bigger group and part of a larger team. You're welcome to do that. I'd be glad to invite you in. Please do know, though, that as you get reviews and you want them, you can leave the team anytime you want. The great example, Max was on the team until just about a week or two ago and then doesn't need it anymore. He's like, I'm off. I want to start my own. And he did that. So it's open to everybody. And quite honestly, everybody here can do the same with each other. So please don't think it's just with me. This Zillow business page has done more for our business over the course of time than probably anything else. And it's a shame that I'm saying that because you'd be like, gosh, is that really that important? The truth of the matter is we have 363 reviews. When we started claiming reviews, saying we're really going to make this a part of our business model was 2016 or 2017, and we said, let's do this. We increased our reviews by 250 inside of 6 months. Okay. Now imagine, now we didn't sell 260 homes. Hold on one second. Awesome. So we're back. My friend Alec got 50 reviews from past clients and what we just spoke of earlier over the course of a week. And I want to show you how that looks. Let me share my screen. You'll see what I mean. Now, he has not made this a huge focus, although it has become something that he does work on. Just pick any zip code that he's in. And this is my friend, Alec Anderson. He is incredibly talented. Alec has 85 reviews. 50 of them came within that time frame I just spoke of, and his serious attempt, where he just said, I'm going to make a commitment to this. And in talking to Alec, and that's what I wanted to have him say, so I'll say it on his behalf, that has continued to fuel his business, something he did 6 years ago, over the course of the last 6 years. Now, Alec is now really focused on multi-door properties, and he's just probably one of the smartest people, if not the smartest person I've ever seen. And we'll have him here and have a conversation with us. He's definitely worth listening to. He's got some real creative ideas. But we were talking about this. He goes, remember when you pushed us to do that? And I went out and I got the number I told you all about just a moment ago. I said, yeah. He goes, that's been a big pillar of my business for the last 6 years. Now, I'm not implying that you make that same effort, but what I am implying is that you make an effort, that it goes on your schedule, that if it's not already, it's part of your checklist when working with a buyer, working with a seller, that when you're creating relationships, those relationships should lead to something positive. Now, here's a trick for you. Asking for a review seems very awkward to some people. So I want to give you a kind of a script that might make it a little easier for you to do so. I always believe it's a phone call. I always believe it's usually around 4 or 5 days before closing. I want, as a buyer side, I want clear to close already done. I want loan approval done and just the formalities done. And I say to whoever it is on the phone, and Delaney, I'm going to use your name on this one. You don't have to unmic. I just, because it's easier for me to talk to me. Hey, Delaney, we are ready to close in about 4 or 5 days. And I'm super, super excited. As I said, we have clear to close, or we have whatever it is we have. The loan commitment is done. We've some evidence that closing is going to occur. It's almost an inevitability. And I wanted to ask your permission to ask a favor of you at this point, if that's all right with you. And her affirm is going to be always, always, unless you had a bad relationship. Yeah, sure. What do you need? So it's really important. And a lot of people tend to look me up online before I have an opportunity to help them, as we've been able to help you. Would it be too much trouble if I sent you over a quick link and had you write just a quick honest opinion of the experience you've had with me? It's much more valuable than me telling somebody that I can actually help them reach their goals as we did you. If I sent that over to you, would you have a couple minutes just to quickly fill something out and submit it for me? In almost every circumstances, they're going to say yes. Now, I will tell you that we have found about 50% of the people actually follow through with that. Okay. I do ask them again in a couple of days, but I don't ask them after closing. Okay. After closing, it seems not to happen very much at all, maybe 10 or 15%. What they're doing. Folks, this is not an after closing question. This is a prior to closing, as everything's ready to go. Sing your praises. We talked about this on a previous call. I love problems. Hey, we had a problem, but I fixed it for you. Okay. That's a good thing to say, and let them know. Will brought it up. Will, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Will's known with his clients. He goes, I'm the guy that takes care of everything. There aren't going to be problems. It's smooth sailing. But in our conversation last time, he brought this up. He goes, I'm going to tell him that there was a problem and that I solved it. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Where you keep coming with solutions and problem solving, and you're proactive, and hopefully you're communicating with your clients regularly, because that's the biggest issue with agents. So the next logical step is to ask them to write something. Do that before we close. Now, the reason I started with Zillow and then and then Google is that Zillow is, in my opinion, the big elephant in the room. I believe Google is becoming that elephant as well. So I'm going to send a link, and you can write up however you want. Here is the quick link, as I spoke about. Thank you so much. And it's a template. And it has a link to your Zillow reviews, because it's a copy and paste link that you send them. It's right to your particular page. I wish I could show it to you, but I can't log into my own account, and they're fixing it. But you go in under reviews, and it's like, copy this link, and you copy that link, put it in an email or put it in a text. I would challenge you to put it in an email and then text them from your phone as well. Here's why. So for me, I put it in KV Corp. At least I think I did. Again, we haven't focused on it, but this is my 1% right here. I'm back at this again. I want more reviews. So I'll build my template out, and I'm going to say, hey, thank you so much for talking to me. Here is that link I was talking about. And if you have time, just copy and paste it. There's a link for a Google review right underneath, and it won't take you but an extra 30 seconds. Just copy what you wrote on the first one and paste it in the Google review, if you don't mind. Thank you so much. And then a PS, if you're really motivated, after I'm done with the thank yous, here's a link to my realtor.com page, but please don't feel any pressure to do so. It would only be an extra 30 seconds, but it's up to you if you choose to. I don't want them ever to feel any pressure to do anything except that first one. But logically, if they do one, they'll usually do two and almost always all three. That accomplishes your goal. With Google, building your Google page out, and this, all of us must capture this. I'm actually going to copy and paste this and drop it in for us real quick. There's a link, and I just typed in how to create a Google business page. Let me share what this looks like with y'all. It's how to create a Google business page. And inside, and I have actually like 2 or 3 pages, but I created another one. That's not it. That's it. This page took me in creation around 2 minutes. Now, how to actually create this Google page, I copied all the instructions on your computer, sign into Google Maps. You can add your business 3 ways, enter your address and search bar on the left, the business profile, click add your business. This is basically bullet points on exactly what to do. I'm going to drop this into the chat for us. And also you can just Google it by saying, if I were to, how do I do it? How to create a business page, and they'll tell you exactly how to go about doing it. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. And the reason I say that is they have to verify your page before this all goes live. And then this is where you're going to want to be. You'll have the abilities to get reviews on here as well. Has anybody on the call right now, if you've got a Google business page, anybody on the call that has a Google business page that's actively seeking reviews, raise your hand if you would, or just speak up. I'd love to get somebody. Will, you got your hand up. Can I ask you to unmute for just a second?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got a little more experience in this than most, it seems. When you created your Google page, pretty much followed these same steps. I think they verified it with a postcard to your address. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And after that postcard, your site was then live because they'd send a code to you, I believe.
Right. And it takes a couple of days to do it. I think it took a week at the time I set it up. And that was like 3 years ago.
I have exactly the same thing. And I found the same thing. Any tricks or anything that's coming up? And young lady, you're next. I definitely want your opinion. Thank you for putting your hand up. And you're going to have to make sure I pronounce your name properly. So don't lower your hand. I want you to talk. Will, any tricks or anything that that you can offer to all of us on that?
No, I mean, it's pretty easy. And I'll be honest, I have failed to focus on it very much, but it's super easy to just take the link in the app. Now they've done some things over the past 30 days, I think, and trying to transition it to a different name from Google My Business or whatever. So I think some of the platform elements have changed, but it is really easy just to send that link. And, I used to do it while we got to the closing table and say, hey, while we're sitting here waiting on them to get all the paperwork done, would you mind just doing a quick review for me? And then I'd just shoot it to them right there. Now, I don't know whether that's the best thing because it still feels a little pressure, like I'm watching them, Yeah. So I probably should do it in a different way. But yeah, it was pretty easy to just send that out to 2 or 3 friends who I had actually just given some advice. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really working with them. They're actually in another state. So yeah, things like that are pretty easy to do.
Love that. To a friend that you've given advice to, because as real estate professionals, our advice is relevant, and that is a great way to do it. Will, thank you.
I also like to specifically ask for a 5-star review.
Good.
Hey, would you be cool to just give me a quick 5-star review?
I think that's real important because you don't want 1 star on there. It'll show up and it'll show up wrong. That's really important. So if you're going to do it once, if it's going to be done twice, now it should be automated. It should be a template you have. You said, listen, I'll shoot this over to you. I use KV Core. It's right off my phone. I shoot it over from there. When I was doing it, we just boom, and we're done. It's super easy. Well, let me get some other suggestions on this. And all right, young lady, you got to tell me how to pronounce that properly so I don't butcher it.
So you can call me Mia, but the name is pronounced Mia Sotis.
Mia Sotis, that is gorgeous. Well, Mia, I will remember. Mia Sotis, I won't forget either. What a beautiful name. All right, young lady, shoot. It's all you. Thank you for helping us.
Yeah, no. So I set up my Google business a few months ago, actually, and I did, I did send it to a few people that I worked with. I actually even send it to agents that I work with. So after or during the transaction, I have like a template message kind of that I'll add the link on there, and I'll just ask them to give me a review on their, how their experience was during our transaction, and then I even offer to give them a review if they also have a Google business page. But like you guys said, it was pretty simple to set up. You can go in and make different edits. You can change ownership of the Google business account. I have to definitely get better with my system on when to ask for the review, I think, because I normally have asked after. But yeah, it's been super beneficial. I've gotten so many leads just off of Google, like people calling for to buy or sell and rent. So it's been very beneficial.
I love it. Thank you, Mia, so much for sharing that. And y'all get that tip or trick. I don't know if you're leading a class like this, wouldn't it be cool if you said, hey, listen, I'm going to put my link in there. If you wouldn't mind just talking about my expertise level while I'm teaching the class. I'm not going to do it on this one because my page is still waiting for the coming back and I've got to find all this stuff. This has not been my focus, which is a shame. It's just a crying shame. I should be at 1,000 reviews and my Google page should be blown up at this point. And you just hit the nail on the head, Mia. That's business coming in. And the reason it's not coming in at the level you want it to is probably because it's not something that's planned or automated or part of your automated system for following up. And the golden ticket from Mia was, and Holly, don't go anywhere because I can't wait to hear what you got to say, young lady. The golden ticket was your peers, other agents writing a review. Thank you, Mia. That is massively important. Good recommendation. And that's specific to Google. They can't do that on realtor.com. They cannot do that on Zillow as well. So God bless you for that. Awesome. Thank you very much. Y'all, if she drops her link in there, you might want to write a review on the fact that she knows exactly what she's doing and she's awesome. So God bless you. That was so cool. Holly, hit it. I'm dying to hear what you got to say.
Hey, thank you. So I have a Google listing as well, and I just wanted to share this. The TC that I just got started with, they have systematized requesting reviews for their clients in their process. So I just want to throw that in there. If you're working with a TC, leverage that to not only get reviews, but then I started thinking, oh my gosh, why am I not using them to help me with some of the other ways we can make money? What about solar panels? What about currency exchange? What about utility transfers? So it could all kind of be plugged into that TC system to help us out.
Absolutely. That is something, if you're not using a TC, you should be. I believe that strongly. You need to know how the transactions go, but if you're relatively new, you absolutely need to. This is one of those 1 or 2%. Just write it down. Automate my review platform. Of course, you're going to have to do a little building, and that's cool. We can do it, Holly. But I love the idea of you can also do it with transferring of the utilities and turning things on and off. We actually have ours automated where it tells them keep your utilities on because we focus mainly on listings. Keep your utilities on till the day after closing, and we don't have to think about it. It goes out automatically. But it's exactly what you've spoken of. The reviews can be automated too. Thank you very much for that, Gina. All you. What you got? Hi.
Okay, I don't do Google. I do Zillow reviews, but I want to tell you that I have worked so many times getting reviews with people, and they loved me. They loved everything. They knew that I was knowledgeable. They knew everything about me helping them, and I helped them pack. I got them boxes. I did all this stuff, and they gave me 4 stars. And I'm like, what the hell? And they said, and I wrote them and I said, I'm just curious, what did I not do for you that you would have given me 5 stars? They said, we don't give anybody 5 stars. We only do 4 stars for everyone. So people do not get upset if somebody gives you 4 and you do a fabulous job.
Also, there's a value to that. And we found this out. This is when Weimer and I were really focusing on this. This is 10 years ago. If it's all 5 stars, it's not authentic. If there's a 4-star, it's real. Everything else is real. So there's actually not a negative to that. A lot of people, even on the call right now, will probably be like, if I only see 5 stars across the board, I think it's just fake. But if there's one where it's 4 stars and like, gosh, they're really good, all of a sudden everything else becomes valid. So while it's not desirable, for sure,
it lowered my score.
Right. Well, and then Will gave us the tip on that one. Hey, would you mind giving me a 5-star review? Might help lean them towards that because they're trying to help. They want to help. They love you. And it's great. Listen, thanks for sharing. That's a vulnerable thing to share too, and I appreciate that. But I actually think there's a silver lining in there, because I'm sure all the rest of yours are fives, and now all of a sudden you're the most authentic person. Whereas somebody who has 17,000 reviews and they're all 5 stars is like, that's baloney. They're paying for them. That's what people think, unfortunately. So be authentic. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. And again, thank you very much for sharing that. Anything else, Ginny, you want to add, or did that cover it, hon?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. I love you guys. You're awesome. You're out there just chewing it up with us. Keith, go for it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Just a quick tip. Once you've got these accounts up and you've got a bunch of good 5-star reviews, one thing I always do is when I meet somebody, a brand new potential client, I send them an introductory email just saying, you know, who I am. Nice to meet you, here to help. And the second paragraph, I put a link to my Zillow reviews. I actually encourage them to go look at them and the testimonials on my website. So that's a great way to people are going to go look anyway. So you might as well say, hey, I want you to go look at my reviews on Zillow and my website. So feel free to drop that in the introductory email to people. I think it is a great way to leverage those reviews.
Absolutely love it. Now, Keith, hold on one second. That's my suggestion on that one. So realtor.com is third, subjective to Zillow and then Google and then realtor.com. And the reason for it is your Google reviews, your realtor or Zillow reviews can be copied and pasted into the recommendations section. However, for a full-on review that's going to be written down, it has to have a sale attached to it. And that is done through the inside, and that is a review on realtor.com. Very good. And without question, an important part of the trifecta is those 3. Keith, thank you very much for that recommendation as well. I appreciate it. And thank you guys. Sorry for going back and forth with recording ons and off, but we all know why I'm doing it. Godfather, you're eating fruit. You're sitting. I know exactly where you're sitting. You're sitting by the bell tower, and I'll be there shortly. What you got, Fred?
No, hey George, I just loved it with Gina. Of course, Gina she wants to be a 5-star general, and she is. But that was such a great balance for you, for Gina, and for all of us, right? Because we, it's so easy to go, wait a minute, you didn't give me 5. So that was great what you came back with. It's very important. I just thought that was brilliant. If something sounds too good to be true, it is, right? So that was a great takeaway.
Outstanding, Fred. I appreciate that very much. Let's move on to Evelyn. Evelyn, you are on, young lady. What you got?
Hi. One of the things that I did was I took all my reviews from Zillow, Realtor, and Google and put them all on KV Core. We have that one page where you can have testimonials, and I just copied and pasted them. So they're all in one place.
Love it. There's another 1% tip right there. Evelyn, thank you very, very much. Why wouldn't you? And you can actually set up KV Core where it automatically populates. I believe it populates in there. If you have any questions or not sure if that's the case, bottom left hand, right hand to KV Core, there's a help desk. So how do I get my Zillow reviews to auto populate? I think they can do it automatically. Evelyn, have you heard anything about that?
No, I did them all manually.
Okay, which if that works, it doesn't matter. I mean, why not, right? It's,
Because I pulled them in from all over, including my Facebook reviews. So all of
Nice.
my reviews are in one place. Yeah.
And that would be the link I would put out to everybody. That is brilliant. Well done. Kind of a higher level thing. Alec, if you can, if you want to come on the call and talk to us for a minute, I'd love to call you in just a couple seconds. Let me know if you're going to do it. Put your camera on so we can get a feel for you. Evelyn, and for everybody out there, with what Evelyn's talking about, video reviews are going to be massively powerful as well. And those are a little more challenging to get, but think about that. If you've got video reviews, what you're talking about with KV Core, having a page of your reviews or even on your website that you may have is going to massively move the needle. Video is more powerful than anything else. So I'd love to finish up with this. Alec, you able to hop on?
Yeah.
It's a dog, dude. I need you.
That work?
That works. What's up, folks? This is Alec Anderson. Alec Anderson's the gentleman I was speaking about, who was doing, who said when we're really focusing on the reviews, I said, Alec, listen, let's try and get as many as we can. And came back with 50 reviews in 1 week. Now, remember, Alec, This is recorded, so we're not going to really talk about where we got them at this point because it's recorded live and we don't want to have that conversation. But I do want to talk about the impact it's had. I alluded to it a bit. That was what, 7 years ago?
2016, 17, somewhere around there.
Yep, that's okay. So I got those right. How has that impacted your business? That really 1 week of effort. How has that impacted your business over the last 7 years?
Still to this day, if I have a listing appointment that comes up or it's a referral, I'll end up showing the clients or potential clients. If you just go in and look at Agent Finder and Zillow and place the zip code, if you have enough reviews in that zip code, you tend to end up as a top 5 agent out of 8,000, 10,000, 14,000 agents within that certain zip code. That gives you enough clout to kind of walk into that listing appointment to have a little bit of confidence, we should say.
Mhm.
And when you back that up with something that's factual, meaning you're ending up in the top 5 of all the agents in that zip code, they feel much more comfortable going with you at the end of the day towards liquidating their asset or their properties.
And Alex, before you hopped on, I did showcase yours with 32835, 32819, and how you're literally in the top 5 of both of those, and now at 85 reviews and all. But the valuable part here, the thing that's most valuable, is that this was an activity where it got his attention for 1 week, and 7 years later, it still has impact in his business. He moved the needle very dramatically, more so than probably most are going to be capable of. But don't think about it that way. What if you got 1 a week from somebody you've advised in real estate? We covered that a little bit earlier on how to go about doing that. Remember, you advise a lot of people in real estate, not just the people you sell to or buy with, but there is advice that's being given, and those people can give you a legitimate review. I just selected, as we talked about previously. But imagine it's 1 or 2 per week. All of a sudden, over the course of a year, this time next year, how would you, every one of you that I can see, show of hands, if you could improve your reviews on Zillow and Realtor.com by, let's say, 50 to 100 new reviews, do you think that would have an impact on your business? As Alec has said, thank you, Alec, for sharing this. You walk in almost, and he didn't say it this way, but you walk in with a little more swagger because you can validate it. As Keith had said, it's part of what he presents. Imagine the power you would yield a year from now with 100 reviews. Pretty impressive what happens to your mindset, your business, and your ability to really self-market. Okay, that's real important. Alec, thank you very much. So I'm going to finish because I've got to pack and I got to get out of here. So we're going to open it up to conversation. But before we do, one of the things I wanted to have a conversation with today with Alec, and we can't do it right now because I've got to go to get to build. Yes. Alec got challenged, and just show hands, the people that I can see. Raise your hand if you're on the call and you're unable to I don't see you on the first page. Alec got challenged that he couldn't call for sale by owners and actually convert them into listing appointments. So Alec, can you give us an overview of the numbers? How many people you called, how many appointments, and how many ended up listing, and how many referrals, real quick?
It was 32 calls, 5 appointments, 4 listings, and 4 additional deals, 4 additional deals within 31 days of that original call. So in total, it ended up being 8 transactions.
So, and you made 32 calls or spoke to 32 people over the course of that. But that was a 1-day activity, I believe, right?
It was about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, and spoke to 32 people, about 12 people per hour.
Yeah, 5
Okay.
appointments.
Anybody on the call interested in maybe having Alec teach a class on what he said, what he did, and kind of show you anybody? I mean, it's probably going to be pretty crappy. I mean, that's not really good ratios. I know, because I'm literally the best for sale by owner person I've ever seen, until this son of a bitch, oops, excuse my language, jumped in and showed me up at a spades kind of level. Would anybody, Delaney is shaking her head going, that George is not shutting up again. I can't believe it. I know what you're thinking, Delaney. Who is anybody else interested in knowing about that kind of skill set and how that conversations went? Because something was different there. If you're interested, just raise your hands. I want to see him, and maybe we can get him. Look at that. Yeah, Alec, sorry, dude, you're on another call. I need you to go through and break that down in a big kind of way. If it not next week, Joe, would you put it down? Just put it down on the calendar for us. Alec and George Fizbo for 2 weeks from today, please.
It actually started because of the team leader and the coach for Keller Williams Classic. That's
Oh, yeah.
how it
Yeah,
started.
she challenged you. She said, "No, you can't do that, or you can't poo-poo that." That's part of the story. Don't give it up, because that's a really cool part. We don't want to give away the cake at this point. All right, Alec, thank you, brother. So 2 weeks from this Tuesday, we got that, and at that point, you bloody well have your license moved over where it should be. He'll be joining us at some point in the very near future. He's finishing up some cleanup right now. And folks, I'm sorry,
September 1st.
September. Oh, right on. Oh, man, dynamite. That's really cool. Well, that'd be your introduction on there. Alec deals a lot. And so just prep yourself for these conversations. He also does multi-family properties, 20 doors, 50 doors, 100 doors, has really moved his business. And here's the background. I met him. He was on the buyer side of one of the listings we had, and there was a broken truss or beam in the house. And he's like, yeah, this beam has been broken. This is just give you the idea of who this guy is. He goes, there's an issue in here. I said, okay, great. We'll get somebody to do it. He goes, no, I had all the stuff. I know how to do it. So it's mechanically sound. And I just went up and fixed it. I hope that's okay. I'm like, all right, I want to work with you more. So we immediately brought him over to Keller Williams. And now we have an opportunity, since he's a numbers analytic and talked to our CFO, he will be coming and joining us at our happy little family very, very soon. Alec, 2 Tuesdays from now, and I'll call you when I'm getting to the airport just for a follow-up as well. Style, you got your hand up. Let's go to you, young lady. Style. Maybe not. Oh, I think she was just saying, hey, yeah, I agree. All right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was saying, I've raised my hand. Sorry, I can't put my camera on because I'm not.
That's cool. That's totally
But
cool. I just wanted to
I
make
was
sure
raising my
didn't miss it.
hand I wanted to participate on that call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
folks,
And I also want to put my 2 cents on about the Google review. It really works. And like everybody said, it's very easy to set up, and you start with your friends and agents that you know, that will build up a little clientele, if you will.
George, I have something, just, director of operations scheduling thing. It actually cannot happen in 2 weeks. The next available Tuesday is the 20th of September. So Alec, can I go ahead and throw you down for that day?
I'm actually going to be in Thailand.
awesome.
What?
Really? That is so cool.
That's a client. That wasn't I don't take vacations.
That's awesome. So guys, we're going to Thailand with Alec. Whoever's got their passports ready on the
No,
20th.
a client of mine, a very, very good friend, was a Buddhist monk for 16 years.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. You got to do this, man. That is just
Yeah,
awesome.
he has been on my butt, sorry, for about 2 years, about taking a retreat to Thailand. George knows I don't like vacations. I'm not wired perfectly. So I'll work. This one client though, he's been extremely adamant about taking me to this Buddhist temple and spending a 4 to 5 day retreat. So
Well, that
unfortunately,
sounds amazing.
Put him down.
So-
Are you back on the
I'll
27th, Alec?
I believe so, yes.
All right, put him down for the 27th. Put a tentative on that, Tiffany. We'll go from there. September 27th, we'll cover it. And we may have to have you do a multifamily conversation as well, since that's being requested. Poe, great conversation on that.
Can I say
Appreciate
one
it.
thing about multifamily?
Yes, please.
The majority of agents' numbers that I've looked over, year over year, if we go from last year till now, we're looking at anywhere from a 42 to 61% decline of volume. I transferred over to multifamily when single family was getting super hot, and everybody told me I was out of my mind. Long story short, my GCI from last year this time is up around 286%.
Okay. And that's part of the conversation with multifamilies. How'd you do it? What'd you do? Let's get into that. I'm going to have to run in just a second, but I want to make sure I get the Godfather in, and then we'll turn it to the after party or any other conversations needed. Fred, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, first of all, Alex, you need a chaperone to go to Thailand. You can't go by yourself. I'm in, okay? Number 2. Hey, I love that. He says, how'd you say it? I'm not completely wired, right? Whatever you said.
Not wired correctly.
None of us are, right? Anyway, tomorrow, by the way, I just posted a little video about tomorrow. I have 2 super guests, Rose coming back, and then we have Thais, who's an attorney out of Brazil, who does a lot of work in the Enneagrams. You want to see that tomorrow. I'm going to be broadcasting from Build in Texas, so hopefully see you all tomorrow. George, what a great call. I'm so glad that, I made time to get on here because I needed this. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Alex. Thank
All
you,
right.
Alex.
So, folks, Fred, God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow for sure at Build. I will be flying. So I'm literally flying in today, flying out tomorrow, but because tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, 17. Go out there and tell somebody you love them. Tell them they're important, that they actually matter. That's the secret to database. That's the secret to telling people or letting people know that they are important, which is ultimately all anybody ever wants to feel is validated of who they are. So do your job. Help them know that they matter to you. Your database business will continue to grow. That is where referrals do come from. They don't come from skill set. They come from knowing that you actually care. More importantly, though, you may save a life. You may make a big difference. And don't forget, every single one of you, you're awesome. I love you. I am truly, truly grateful that you guys are here. And I can't thank you enough for being part of the GPS Global Partners. I'm going to turn it over to the after party. Tiff, you guys have it. Are you good to go?